Hey, this is Jessica, and I wanted to talk about the importance of filters with your bettas and also the cycling. So this is my tanks. All my tanks have a filter. They are what people call hob, which stands for hang on back. It hangs on the back of the aquarium. You can also get sponge filters, which is basically just a sponge, and it goes in the tank, and it's ran by air. You'd have to have an air pump and hose, and what happens is the sponge sucks up everything. You can build biological filtration because good bacteria will build on the sponge, and you'll have a stream of bubbles on top. They don't usually create too much movement, and if you can control it by a valve if you really wanted to on your air pump. There's also under gravel filters, which I don't know how good those are. I've heard many people say not to use them. I've never actually seen proper ones. They're supposed a proper undergravel filter will be a plate that sits at the bottom below your gravel from the whole length of your tank, and it has two air lines, one at each end. So the hang-on back filters are the easiest ones, and usually the best ones to find. People do have problems with flow. You can do a baffle like this. This is a plastic water bottle. It directs the flow sideways, so it's not coming straight out at them. Plus, the good thing about these AquaClear filters is this. This is high, while that is low. So I always keep all of them on low. The reason why you should have a filter on your betta tank is it takes out the particles. It, will pick up all the waste in the water. If you have a filter like mine, which has a sponge, I do keep the carbon in mine. Some people don't. You don't have to keep the carbon in them. You could do like 2 sponges. I keep the carbon in, and then on top is the Biomax. So you have a cycle with this filter, and it takes up the particles. And what the cycle does is it removes ammonia. And the reason why it's good to have a filter is if you have a tank without a filter, that means you're doing water changes probably every couple of days. That's another reason why you should, get a big tank for your betta, not those small little like 1 gallons. Those 1 gallons, they might not take up a lot of room. Yeah. But you have to clean them, you have to do water changes like every 2nd day or every 3rd day. And it has to be like 50% water changes, because ammonia builds up quickly the second they start. They don't produce a lot of waste, but still any waste will produce ammonia. Having real plants in your tank will help, but either way you will still have to do water changes way more often than I do. I do them once a week. You don't even have to do them as much as I do. I'm doing them today, and I'm doing 50%. I just got done with this tank, and I literally did it went down to there. So that's a big water change. And what happens with the cycle is, within time, good bacteria develops, and it changes the ammonia to nitrate, and then nitrate gets changed to the ammonia gets changed to nitrite, and then the nitrite gets changed to nitrate. That's the confusing part, nitrate to nitrate. Because ammonia is toxic to fish, even a small amount. Even if you say you have a test kit and you've tested at 1 parts per million, that's way high. You'd want it at a 0.0 something, and you should have it at 0 completely. Mine are all at 0. They have cycle tanks. But if you have those 1 gallons that you can't cycle, you'd want to do water changes if you saw a bit of ammonia in your tank. So what the cycle does is it changes that ammonia to nitrite, which is less harmful to the fish. And then once the nitrite is changed to nitrate, that is definitely less harmful. The only time nitrate is harmful is in large amounts, by which I mean on your test kit over 20 parts per million. These tanks have registered at 10 parts per million before a water change for nitrates, which isn't bad. like I said, plants will help with that also. Real plants help with reducing all those things. Nitrate you also want at 0 if your tank is cycled. So I've always had my bettas in my tanks while I'm cycling, which isn't suggested. You should do a fishless cycle, which means you buy your tank, plan ahead, set it up, and just have your tank run. It can usually take 2 weeks, maybe quicker. I find the best thing to do is to get the cycle. I always use Nutrifin cycle. I find it helps. It might not help with some people say it doesn't. I find it helps. I find it helps. So, or there's Tetra makes a start right, basically the same thing. I'll just follow directions on the bottles. It's basically putting in beneficial bacteria to help build it quicker. So you'd want to do that, and then you'd just want to wait. You'd want to get a test kit so you can test it daily to see where your ammonia is. You'll probably see ammonia peaks. The ammonia peaks really high before the cycle starts kicking in, and then the nitrite will start showing up, and then hopefully nitrate. You want to see nitrates in a cycle. You still have to do water changes because the ammonia gets too high. Bring it down. Do a water change. But your goal would be to see on your test kit 0 ammonia, 0 nitrate, and then some nitrates. That would be your goal. That's how you know it's cycled. And then you can add your fish. If you're doing a cycle with fish, you have to do a lot of water changes, like every couple of days, to make sure they won't get harmed by the ammonia, because ammonia can kill your fish. This is what people don't understand. This is what some people need to be told when they have those 1 gallon tanks, or even those stupid half-gallon so-called betta cubes. You have to change the water, like with those ones, probably every day. And a little bit of ammonia can harm your fish. If your fish gets sick, that's probably why. If you're not cleaning your tank and you don't have a filter on it, and that's why your fish is probably sick. It's the ammonia. So I'd rather not deal with so many water changes. That's why I have cycle tanks. Another thing is to jump start your cycle, or even do an instant cycle. If you have a tank that's already cycled, take out media from it. By media, I mean like this. I use these in all my filters. This is the poly pad. You just buy it, you cut it to size. I'll show you where it is. I have to do this tank next for my water change. Take this off. There it is. There's the filter foam. There's my pre-cut pad in between, the carbon, and then that's the Biomax. So what I did when I got snowy is, since this tank was already cycled, I took that pad out, that one right there that's wedged in between, and I put it in the filter for snowy, and that basically did an instant cycle. I still added the Nutrifin cycle water supplement anyways to help, but I didn't have problems with the tank because I did that. Even if you have 2 different types of filters, even if you have a cartridge filter, what you could do is you can dump out the carbon that's in between the pad, and use the pad. There's going to be bacteria on that pad, and stick that into your other filter. You can even cut it down to size so it doesn't fit. I keep seeing this on forums. I keep on answering like the same questions almost every day about filters and how to help a cycle. That is like the only way to help a cycle, is using already cycled media and putting it into your filter. Another trick is to grab substrate from a filter, from a tank that is established. What they do is they put it in like a mesh bag and drop it into their new tank. That's not going to help your cycle as much as putting in the actual filter media. That would still be slow going if you just did that the substrate way. You definitely want to test the water a lot to make sure that you have a cycle, because you're probably still going to get ammonia readings. You're going to have to do frequent water changes. The best way to do it is to get media that's cycled, even if it's from somebody they have an established tank. You probably wouldn't mind if you took a piece of their filter media. So what I did with Frankie's is when I took that piece out, I just replaced it with a fresh piece. Yeah, really bright. And since his Biomax on top was filtered, it didn't hurt his cycle to have his removed. It's not like I took all the media out. That's the good thing with the aqua clears is you have the foam on it establishes a cycle, and then the Biomax is also the cycle, so you can remove one without killing your cycle. That's why a lot of people are against the like Tetra filters. I had one before, which has the cartridge. It's hard to build a biological filtration on them. But there's videos out there that you can, you can cut this to size for a Tetra filter and use it, or you can take out the carbon, or don't add the carbon. I know Tetra sells like filters that you have to put the carbon in themselves. Just don't put the carbon in, because the thing with carbon is it lasts only a month. Like, I am changing Frankie's carbon today. I got this box here for his carbon. Every 30 days this has to be changed. I do it because it's not that expensive. These aqua clears are like, I think it's like $2.39 for this, for his size 20. The bigger the filter, the more expensive. But since this is the smallest filter, it's like $2. Just like if I ever have to replace the big foam block that I showed at the bottom of his filter, that's like $1 or something. You don't usually have to replace those. What you do is you rinse them, and you rinse the pre-cut foam as well. I'll show you again. So when you do a water change, you want to get water somewhere. When you do a water change, what you do is you rinse this out, and you rinse that out. I even sometimes rinse the carbon out. This was white, it's getting awfully yellow now, so I might replace that foam soon. I don't know. Usually they say don't replace it at all until it actually starts falling apart, so I might do that. You do also want to clean out your filter. So occasionally if you look down into the bottom and you see that it's gross or slimy, you want to clean it out, clean out the propeller. I did that to Snowy's tank today. You don't have to do that often. You don't have to do it weekly like you have to do water changes. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, I guess. Even though this is 12 minutes long, I find the importance of filters and, keeping your fish healthy. Your fish will love you. If he has, no ammonia in his tank, you can get sick. I think his fins are starting to regrow. I don't know. Can't really do much about it. It's not fin rot, so that's what I mean. I can't really do much about it. I can't physically stop him from chewing. I might look for some tall plants this week and put them over here. Because, like, he does have plants, but they're short, so that doesn't really help. So yeah, that's the importance of filtration. You can ask any questions if I've skipped something or I'm probably confusing you. I probably didn't explain anything that well. If you have any questions, ask. And also show you Snowy. He got a large water change too, like 50%. And since that decoration's new, I scrubbed that down. And I scrubbed down all the friggin' heaters, because I find the heaters get kind of gross, they get slimy. So I take them out and I scrub them down. Oh, looks like I missed places. Oh well. So yeah, ask any questions you have if you, are new and you have a new tank. Maybe I can help. And thanks for watching, and bye-bye.